Oh, and another thing too, when I'm making these videos, basically I'm talking to myself. But I mean, it applies to everyone else, I guess, but it can. But basically I'm talking to myself. Well, anyway, I'm talking to myself. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm joking. Anyway, these workshops and stuff, I think they'll work pretty good. Get in there, and I think the first thing people should really discuss in workshops are how do you react when you're angry, and I think that would solve a lots and lots of problems, because some people say, well, I get upset, but it's not anger, it's this, or it's just frustration or this, and then you can discuss it and say, well, okay, what it is and why. And for instance, you go to class and you got a teacher who ignores you pretty much, but you get good grades, but you want to be heard and you can't be heard, and it frustrates you. And then what do you do in those situations? Then you have to figure a way to control them, or sometimes just don't say anything. Like, I think I said this in one of my older videos. I was going to SMC and Santa Monica Community College back in the days and stuff, and I had this one political science class, and there was this one brother who was their teacher, and he was from Irvine. I walked in, everyone in the class was white, and a couple of Asian women, and I don't know which country they were from, and had this one Puerto Rican guy in there, and then behind me was this some lady, and behind her was her husband, and he just so happened to be a cop. And we going through the political science class and stuff, and the teacher just straight looked at me and said, you got to turn in all your homework, you can't be late, blah 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 blah. And I looked down, and I was like, wow, I was really sad, because a lot of us don't know these black stereotype things until we grow up, or unless you're just living in these towns and stuff, and it's constantly put in your face, or you just reading and stuff. I grew up, I didn't know that black people were dumb. I didn't know that black people couldn't achieve anything, because I was smart and everything, and whatever situations I've faced, I came out as a victor. I have friends selling drugs and stuff like that, smoking, and they're like, "You gonna smoke?" No, why? Because I don't want to. I don't need to. Oh, you're not a man. I'm like, well, whatever. I'm not smoking. Well, you gotta get out of here. All right, bye. I'm out. Whatever. Because I'm not gonna, hurt my standards or my morals just to be your friend. And it's not even about being friends, because who really is your friend, But you know what I'm saying. But anyway, he said that to me, and I was like, really? I said, okay. So I tried to speak up and stuff, and every time I did, the Puerto Rican guy, I guess everyone thinks they're better than black people and stuff, and so I'll say something, and he'll interrupt me every time, and so I'm like, all right, and I just let him talk and stuff, but he wouldn't do that when white students were talking, because the white people, the white students, I shouldn't say white people, the white students, they had their opinions about everything that went in class and stuff, and so I tried to put mine in, and they would listen, or I don't know if they were listening actually, but he would always interrupt, put his 2 cents in. So semester break came, and I told the teacher, no, he came to me, Ralph, you can't get an A in my class if you don't discuss. And then he was like, and then I told him, I said, well, every time I talk to this guy, he said, well, you just gotta, hey, that's politics, And I looked at him, and he was basically, what I said, I guess he probably thought I was weak or something like that. I'm like, all right. I said, you sure? He said, yep. I said, okay, and then I'm gonna assert myself, And I said something that Puerto Rican dude, which I ain't mean nothing about Puerto Rico, but I come up in a time where, if you weren't white, then everyone was labeled black or whatever. Well, white people, when they say, if they label everyone else unless they were white, so in the news and stuff like this, so a man shot and killed or did this, and if it wasn't labeled, then we know it was a white European guy. But then, sometimes they'll label him and stuff. But anyway, I rose my hand, and he called him, I started saying something just like clockwork. Dude, he just jumped up and said, and I looked at the teacher, and the teacher just looked back at me. I stood up, turned around. I said, man, why don't you sit down and shut the F up? I am tired. And this is exact words I said. I am tired of you effing interrupting me every time I talk. You don't do that to these white people in here and stuff like that, but you're going to do it to me. I said, I don't know if you got respect for me, and I don't care, but next when I'm talking, you better shut your mouth and don't ever interrupt me again unless you start interrupting these other white people in classes, these white people in class and stuff like that. You sit down and shut up and wait till I finish talking, then you talk. And he looked at me, and the whole class was like really shocked and stuff, and then I said what I had to say. And then after class, the teacher came to me and said, okay, you know, I wasn't expecting you to do something like that. I'm like, you know, I'm just tired of him anyway, you know. But usually when I grew up and stuff, like even when I was in Venice and stuff, and I had problems and stuff, if it wasn't nothing big, you know, I'll just whatever, you know, just let them say what they want, you know, let them breathe or get some of that frustration out of their system or whatever. But after that, you know, I didn't have to say anything else in class. And it was funny. But I did get into one other thing. But anyway, I'm going off the subject, right? So anyway, basically getting back to the workshop and stuff like that, you know, I think it's really, really important to really understand, you know, everything that's going on in your life. Why do you eat this kind of food? Why do you do this? Why do you smoke? Why do you do this? And just think of ways, well, if I wasn't doing this, you know, because you don't just want to change, you know, without trying to put something in that place. So you don't smoke and then you don't have nothing else to do, and then you go back to smoking, you'd be, instead of smoking one pack a day, you'd be smoking a box a day, you know. So you need to really plan this stuff out. And when you're talking about being in relationships, I mean, my first 14 years of marriage, you know, I had to go through a whole bunch of adultery, you know, with my first 14 years of marriage, you know, and I was in situations where I could get upset. Like my first marriage, you know, I got upset and stuff, and I would have just been in jail, you know, because I was in the Philippines, and you can't, you know, I'm not going to fight and hit her, you know, and I'm not going to fight these guys. And I'm like, okay, fine, you know. And I just dealt with it, you know, until I was in a situation to where I was able to get out of it. And when that situation approached itself, I was like, okay, bye, and that was it, you know. And that's what I mean, you know. Sometimes you just got to deal with them. But these workshops should really focus on these things that are these stumbling blocks and get them out of the way, because it doesn't matter if you say, okay, I'm going to save some money. Like me, I'll drive to work on Mondays when I really don't need my car. So I'll spend like $80, on an average $80, you know, just going to work when I shouldn't spend no more than 30, you know. And if I pack a lunch, just enough for transportation. And my transportation to and from work is paid by my job. So I shouldn't have to spend any money, right? Unless I just want to go play. But, you know, why goof off when I just go to work, come home, and eat at home, or hurry up and do different things and stuff like that. So, somebody's calling me. My bro. I'm